Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and elders of the Great Millstone, Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash. My name is Yakaba from Plain Tables Camp, Philly. Now, this article popped up on my phone. So there's 4 more injured, including 2 teens in overnight gun violence across Philadelphia. And this happened last night. Today's Sunday. Officials say 2 men and 2 teens were injured in shootings across Philadelphia neighborhoods, bringing the weekend total of gunfire victims to 14. The number of juveniles involved to 7, and the number of shootings indicates incidents to 9, with 3 in critical condition and the others listed as stable. All right. This happened in West Oak Lane. That's 5900 block Ogons. That's West Oak Lane. And it got me thinking about, Israelites carrying weapons. And that immediately made me think of Issachar-He. All right. You have actually a group called Issachar-He. And they got me thinking about the rebel groups amongst Israelites. And I immediately thought of Simon the Canaanite. All right. This is Matthew 10:4. This is Simon the Canaanite. This is the disciples started naming him in the book of Matthew. And I believe it names him also in Luke and Mark. It says Simon the Canaanite and Judas Issachar, who also betrayed him. And when you look up Simon the Canaanite, the word there is supposed to be zealot. All right. We got Kananias. All right. Simon the Canaanite, zealous, the surname of the apostle Simon, otherwise known as Simon Zealot. All right. And it says by mistaken for derivative from 5477, which that actually says Canaanite. All right, so it's supposed to be zealot there. Canaan. This is the actual word for Canaan or Canaanite. Canaan. And then you got the Hebrew there. All right, which are 2 different words. Is the point? It's the difference between a Canaanite and zealot. All right, but they have it here in English, Canaanite, which should be zealot. All right, Simon the zealot. Now, if that implies that he was a part of that faction, the zealots, I'm not too sure, but that led me on to the Issachar-He. All right, so Simon may have been a part of before the Lord chose him to be a disciple. He may have been a part of that faction, the Zealots. It says the Zealots were a political movement in the 1st century, and Second Temple Judaism. Which Judaism is made up. It's not a real thing. But the second temple, which sought to incite the people of Judea province to rebel against the Roman Empire and expel it from the Holy Land by force of arms, most notably during the first Israelite-Roman War. Zealotry was the term used by Josephus for the 4th sect of the Israelite philosophy during this period. All right, so they were basically a rebel, military group that wanted to expel the Romans out of Israel. All right. Now, the reason why the Romans had dominion over the Israelites is because we went off from keeping the Lord's commandments, and we had to be punished. All right. So that leads me down to John 18, and because they use their their connections and assassinations to change, to expel the Romans, all right, and to get certain things that they demanded, all right, like release of prisoners and other assassins that were a part of the Issachar and Zealots, all right. This is John 18:7. Then asked he them again, whom seek ye? And they said, Yahushua of Nazareth. And Yahushua answered, I have told you that I am he. If therefore you seek me, let these go their way, that the saying might be fulfilled which he spake of them which thou gavest me, have I lost none. Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it and smote the high priest's servant and cut off his ear. The servant's name was Malchus. All right. Now, in the Issachar and the Zealots, they were into assassinations and kidnappings. All right. Then said Yahushua unto Peter, put up thy sword into the sheath. The cup which my Father hath given me, shall I not drink it? So Peter was ready to go to war, pretty much to protect Yahushua at that time. All right, but Yahushua said to Peter that wasn't the right way. All right. Then the band and the captain officers of the Jews took Yahushua and bound them. All right. So the point is that using the sword was not the way. All right. We had to be punished. All right. The point that we were under the Romans was for punishment. All right. And the Lord had different rebel groups set up because that was their judgment. But the Lord's elect weren't supposed to be involved in in these different groups, like the Zealots and the Issachar, which you got a splinter group of Great Millstone that calls themselves Issachar. All right, let's read some things about Issachar. It says the Issachar, all right, this is where they get their name from. That group were a splinter group of the Zealots, all right, who in decades preceding Jerusalem's destruction in 70 AD strongly opposed the Roman occupation of Judea and attempted to expel them and their sympathizers. This is how brutal these Issachar were, and their sympathizers. So if you were an Israelite and you just you wanted peace, and you just wanted not to have skirmishes and different wars with the Romans, the Issachar assaulted and murdered those Israelites too. All right. From the area, the Issachar carry the saki, I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation, or small daggers concealed in their cloaks. At public gatherings, they pulled out these daggers to attack Romans and Roman sympathizers alike, a person who agrees with or supports a sentiment or opinion alike, blending into the crowd after the deed to escape detection. The Issachar are regarded as one of the earliest known organized assassin units of cloak and daggers, predating the Islamic Haitian and Japanese ninja by centuries. So the cloak and dagger thing, the assassinations, that was started by Israelites. All right. The term the derived Spanish term sicario is used in contemporary Latin America to describe a hitman working for a drug cartel. All right. So you're going to put that together, Issachar and the history of the Issachar. All right. Let's go down here a little bit. We got the Zealots, Issachar. So they're saying that the Issachar were a splinter group of the Zealots. All right. And Simon the Canaanite, or Simon the Zealot, may have been a part of that before the Lord chose him to be a disciple. All right. The Zealots, Issachar-He, and other prominent rebels finally joined forces to attack and temporarily take Jerusalem from Rome in 66 A.D., where they took control of the temple in Jerusalem, executing anyone who tried to oppose their power. So this is what the Zealots and the Issachar were about. All right. See, everything's spiritual. All right. When you look at these different groups and these splinter groups amongst Israel now, it's spiritual, and everything's like the elders and apostles say, everything's reincarnated. All right. The things that we were doing in the past is what we're doing now. All right. If you were a prophet in the past, you're a prophet now. All right. If you were Issachar-He Zealots, you're taking up like manners now. You're in similar groups now. All right. The local populace resisted their control and launched a series of sieges and raids to remove the rebel factions. Okay, so you had these rebel factions that were just against the main populace. So the populace had to set up their own groups to get rid of Issachar-He and the Zealots. All right, the local populace resisted their control and launched a series of sieges and raids to remove the rebel factions. The rebels eventually silenced the uprising, and Jerusalem stayed in their hands for the duration of the war. The Romans finally came to take back the city, and they laid counterattacks and sieges to starve the rebels inside. The rebels held for some time, but the constant bickering and lack of leadership led the groups to disintegrate. All right, so the Lord did that because it was time for Jerusalem to be destroyed. All right, and guess what? The same thing's going to happen again to all these splinter groups that are not operating under the Holy Spirit in the name of Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai. Because we all don't have the truth. Contrary to that's popular belief that we all got a little bit of truth here and there. No, only one group has the truth. All right, because we all believe different things. So it's impossible for us all to be right. All right. The rebels held for some time, but the constant bickering and lack of leadership led the groups to disintegrate. This sounds familiar to you? What just happened between those two groups in Israel? Last week or whatever? The leader of Issachar-He, Menahem, was killed by rival factions during an altercation. So that could have been the Zealots, or it could have been the groups that was set up to get rid of the Zealots in the Issachar-He. All right, maybe it's clearer in the Josephus. All right. Soon the Romans regained control and finally destroyed the whole city in 70 A.D. So that was the end of Issachar-He and the Zealots, and the groups that got together to get rid of Issachar-He and the Zealots. All right. So when you join these different splinter groups, all right, especially, let me not say splinter groups. When you join these groups, especially with those names and that are known for cloak and dagger, all right, whether weapons or, set somebody up, you should think twice about that. Look at the historical history. Look at the history on the Issachar-He and the Zealots. All right. I got one more scripture and I'm going to close it out. I made my point. All right. It's just a short history lesson of weapons and assassinations and names. Heresies. All right. We got a body of men following their own tenets, a sect, a party. So you always had different sections of Israelites, all right, that believed different things, but only one of them had the truth. The principle or belief, especially one of the main principles of a religion or philosophy. A sect or a party, So you had Sadducees, Pharisees, and you had the Christians, all right, which we were first called Christians at Antioch. Before that, we were just Israelites that believed that Yahushua was the anointed. All right, a section. All right, so you had certain sections that were known for assassinations, cloak and dagger, kidnappings, murders. All right, and you had other sections that were known for non-violence, so to speak, or we just taught the scriptures. And every now and again, somebody come up missing or get hurt or whatever. All right, but there is a distinct difference. All right, because you had violence amongst the so-called Christians also, but it was nowhere near like Sicarii and Zealots, which assassinated people and kidnapped people. All right, I think that's all I had. All right, on that there. Hope you were edified. Shalom.